All right, let's get a sense now on how people in France are reacting. Let's take you through some of the front pages of the national papers. The centre-right daily French newspaper Le Figaro's headline reads, "War in the heart of Paris." Aujourd'hui en France referred to the killings as a terrorist massacre in the heart of Paris. The left-leaning Libération daily has gone for massacre in Paris, with its editor calling the attacks barbaric terrorism that crossed an historic line. And across a black front page, the sports paper L'Équipe has simply one word: horror. Collectively, French media immediately made links to the country's role battling armed groups in the Middle East, but called for unity. Alain Gresh is a Paris-based journalist, and he joins us from there now. Alain Gresh, good to have you back with us. So ISIL have now claimed responsibility. What's your response to that?
I think it was very clear from yesterday's attack, the way it was coordinated, and what happened on the scene with people saying Allahu Akbar, or this is the result of your policy in Syria, that it was ISIS. It's not so surprising. Do
you think people will be angry about this? Because I know that many link it to France's role in fighting ISIL. There were also warnings that there could be further attacks after Charlie Hebdo. And despite that, these attacks went ahead.
Yes, of course. Now there is no such critic, or very few. I mean, we can say critics from the extreme right. There is a climate of course, it's normal, of national unity. Nobody wants to criticize the president and the policy, but after, I think, 1 or 2 days, this will begin. I mean, what is the result of the policy of France in the Middle East, the fight, the war against terror? Why it is not working? This is the main question. I mean, we have been in this war against terror for years and years, and we have now more terrors, and this is a real problem.
Do you think this will play into the hands of the far right, and should Muslim communities be getting worried in France?
Yes, I think we should be worried. First, before this, there is the rise of the extreme right and the National Front. And you know, we have very important election in December, the regional election, in which we can see, for the first time in history, National Front leaders be head of this region, which has many powers and many money. And this is really a problem. And the main the main propaganda of the extreme right is about terrorism, security, the Islamists, etc. So it's clear that it will create some kind of favorable climax for them. And this is very worrying.
And we don't really know, other than ISIL, who these people were, where they came from. But France has something like 1,500 Frenchmen who've left to get training in Syria, and many of them are returning back. Why do you think so many of them have been turned on by this cause?
I'm not sure I got the question. The people who, we don't know who are the people who were involved in
Correct.
it. We don't know if they came back from Syria, if they are French national. In my opinion, and because it is one of the aim of ISIS, is there will be French national, because they want to create a kind of civil war in France between the Muslim and the French. The other question is why so many young people are going there. And this is a very complicated question. It's not, they are coming from all the countries, not only from France. There are more from Britain if we compare it to the Muslim population. And this is a problem we should think about it. It's not only a kind of irrational behavior of young. It is also linked with how these people, these Muslims, feel about the Western policy towards them inside Europe and towards the Muslim world.
And tell me how you feel. I mean, are you frightened? What are you thinking?
No, personally, really, I'm not frightened. But of course, I'm frightened for my friends, for my family, for when this happened, I phoned to my children to be sure it was safe. But I don't feel frightened in Paris. I mean, I was in Paris. Now it's really empty. I mean, because many shops are closed, all the museums, markets are closed, etc. So it's a kind of atmosphere. But I think we shouldn't be frightened, because this would be a victory of these groups.
Well, that's exactly what Francois Hollande said when he declared that he believed that ISIL was behind this and that this was an attack of France. How do you think he's, I know it's still early days, but how do you think he's coming out of this at the moment?
At the moment, as I said, I mean, there are, I feel it among my friends. People are frightened in Paris, at least. And, but at the same time, there is, as I said, a kind of national unity. But like happened after Charlie Hebdo attacks. But after will come the difficult political question. It's not only a question of course, everybody condemns this kind of attack. Everybody is shocked, etc. But the problem for France, as a major Western country, as a country involved in the Maghreb, in the Middle East, we should think about how to stop it. There is no, I mean, there is no a simple policy, and we will be able to stop this kind of thing. But we should have a policy, and I think personally that the policy we have been following since many years is not getting to any results.
Well, it's very good to have you on the show with us, Alain Gresh, Paris-based journalist. Thank you.